Okay, let me say good morning to Frank as well. Frank, morning to you.
Archie, good morning and good morning to our listener. Olayomi, good morning to you.
How are you? How are you doing?
What we can't complain. We are inside.
Okay.
Someone will say. Someone say we dey inside.
We dey inside. Can you broke? Can you no broke? We dey inside. Good. Great. Okay, listeners. That is the panel for you this morning. But hey, we promise you one thing that we're going to be getting you a few of our gentlemen on Mr. Francis Gaye will be joining us pretty soon. So Frank, Mr. Francis Gaye, you can hear me appear before the throne. All right, then let's go to Mr. Olayomi Koiki for the updates. Now, yesterday, the proceedings at the court that was sitting for the Nnamdi Kanu case was had to be adjourned to sometime, I think, what is it, 2022? Due to the fact that the DSS did not allow some of the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu to come to the court, and therefore they decided to walk out. Now, can you give us some more detail about that story?
Yesterday, Nnamdi Kanu was meant to be brought to the court, and the proceeding was meant to continue with the trial of 7 count charges on so many labeled on him by the federal government of Nigeria. There was always chaos when Nnamdi Kanu is coming to the court. I remember we spoke on Tuesday, and I said his coming to the court is like a presidential convoy, but the outside was also chaotic because lawyers and senior advocate of Nigeria and some of the representatives from Southeast were not allowed to get in. That is not the issue. But what I can say is the representative and the legal representative rather of Nnamdi Kanu were not allowed into the court. You might want to ask why they were not allowed into the court, especially a court proceeding that has got the date. They were actually in the court premises, but trying to solve so many issues of people that were stuck outside from not allowed to get in. And by the time they got back into the court premises, to continue with the case, Nnamdi Kanu legal representative were not actually allowed to get into the court premises itself. So that means somebody right inside the court decided to lock them outside. The judge went ahead with the case, but the case was not actually, because there was no legal representative. So that means the case itself was adjourned till next year, January. Let's hear what the lawyer representing Nnamdi Kanu has to say.
And because of the constraint, they are even exposed from time to time. The constraint that we stand from the fact that lawyers are not being allowed access to the country. So we are there to resolve this issue. Because justice must be done in this country. And not only be done, we manifestly sent to be done. So we are in order to resolve this matter. Our big and gowns were inside the court. Our books were inside the court. Our bag were just outside the court. Because a number of us who are outside are not allowed to come in. So the court came in. Come and shoot us now. The court came in and called up the case. It was the only case on the court. Call up the case. Ordinarily, it is the practice that when lawyers are not in court, and when you are away and they are weak and down the court, naturally ask very well at lawyers. And they will tell you, do you know what the Nnamdi was in court? The Nnamdi was there, was in court. And our client was in court, was seeing him before them. But so the lawyers are outside. You have ordinarily summoned the legal counsel to find out from him what was actually going on. That has been the practice. So in a simplest society, that is the practice in this country actually. I've not witnessed a situation whereby law court will call in and call a case when lawyers in court in the matter were outside the court door. I've not seen such thing. So the court, and when we were told that the court was about to proceed, we now struggle to go inside the court, the lock us down. We are knocking at the door, the lock us down. Only for us to be told that the court called our client, called the prosecutor, and have a discussion with them in open court. So, taking us back to what happened on 26th of June, 2021, when he was taking the court to reference to us and allowed to address the court.
So that was actually what happened yesterday. So all we can say is Nnamdi Kanu court case has been adjourned till January. Still a lot happening in Nigeria in 21st century, where it seems we're still back again to the military era.
Well, interesting. Has the DSS said why? Well, they locked the lawyers out. Have they said why or given reasons for that action that they took?
Well, that's if you can find somebody to give you that kind of answer. That is the question. One of the video of about almost 30 seconds also surfaced. You heard the lawyer saying there that Nnamdi Kanu and the prosecutor were right in front of the judge. There's no legal representative. And the next thing was the court has adjourned it to January. But I saw Nnamdi Kanu about 30 seconds in that video having a tussle between one person that represents the DSS in the court, and you could hear him saying something which is again shows that he was not really pleased with the situation yesterday at that court when that proceeding was meant to take place. It's about 30 seconds. Let's see if we can get the soundtrack of that. So in that video, you could hear again Nnamdi Kanu saying, who do you think you're commanding? You can't command me. And you could see that there's a lot of tension. And now the owner, Haize, who is almost similar to other social cultural group in Nigeria, are now advising the federal government that things might escalate. Especially the lawyer says, we won't wait till January. This is a trial. You've got the evidence, and the court must start the proceeding on Nnamdi Kanu.
Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me go to Frank. Now, Frank, yesterday we did touch on, that was when the news broke, that their proceedings have been halted and their case has been deferred to next year. Now, with the stance of the DSS, you see, my worry is, should something happen to Kanu? We know people can, somebody can suffer a heart attack, something can happen to somebody. Now, should something like that happen, what do you think is going to happen in Nigeria?
Actually, obviously, people who interpret it, and rightly so, that it was murdered, will react and want to demand that their pound of flesh. That is something that we cannot rule out. In my view on this issue, I think the DSS, for whatever reason they might have, are trying to basically be the prosecutors and the judge, because to some extent they're trying to determine what and how the court and the trial should go. I think their business would have been that they present their case, how Nnamdi Kanu ended up in their groups from Kenya, and why they actually brought him to Nigeria, because unless they flew him over a broom, we would have wondered how someone who is in Kenya, unless they are telling us that he's lying, that he never was in Kenya, that they actually got him, that he flew voluntarily, and they got a hold of him at the airport, and they can demonstrate that. And then, so those are the kind of things that we expect the DSS to be doing. Now, here, when you have the National Crime Agency, which you liken to the DSS, coming after you, they've arrested someone, they're putting them before court. At the end of the day, even Nnamdi is not supposed to be at the custody of DSS as we speak. It should be handed over to the prisoners. The prisons, where it should be kept. If the bail condition is still pending and has not been granted. But in this case, I think as if they have some personal interest. It's not about the state having interest, but it's like certain individuals within the DSS have some personal interest in keeping him behind bars and basically frustrating the whole situation. I do not think it's going to end up well if it seems, or we do anything to suggest that he has not, like I said yesterday, he's not being given a fair trial, and that would be really not good for us.
Yeah, I mean, if the lawyers say that they're not going to wait till the January where the case has been deferred to, what do they mean, and what are they going to do then? Are they going to go on the protest? Because you cannot say if the DNS are not bringing, the judge is not sitting. What will you do? Are you going to force? Are you going to sit in your own backyard and then do something about it? What do they mean by that?
Well, I mean, there's quite a lot that have to be said. What they've actually meant is that if the current judge sitting on this case is not capable, then she has to allow somebody else to take over. That's if there's a kind of a pressure from the top that is not giving the judge opportunity to allow the case to be heard for a trial like this that a lot of Nigerians around the globe are waiting to find out what are the charges label on him. But yes, I mean, you're quite right. It seems, they're also looking at, one of the lawyers that flew in from the U.S. representing, the former Deputy Chief Justice of America that was also representing there, also says that they will have to file in quite a lot of other international against the federal government, and the federal government thinks that, holding somebody against, their right and not allowing a free trial, then that would also have some consequences. So they're putting in every legal, representative around it, but we will have to wait and see whether they will have to wait till January or this case might have to come back again before January.
Okay, listen to Starr Radio, I'm just from Nigeria. Let me say good morning to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi and Antonio Adedeji. Salute you, sir. Okay, but there was one other comment that there were clashes outside the courts. Who were clashing between groups? Who were doing that?
Well, I mean, yesterday was, all kind of different things happening. There were people supporting one Nigeria, that also came to the front of the court, and then, as you can tell, it's now turned to, those supporting one Nigeria and likewise those supporting, the IPOB as well. So that was what was actually happening, in front of the court premises as well yesterday, during that court proceeding. So they were actually, playing the drum. They had a full kit of drum that came with them. Likewise, those representing IPOB were also shouting, "Holy, holy, free Nnamdi Kanu." So you could tell that there was quite a lot of tension there, and it seems that somebody knew that that kind of engagement in the court premises would also travel around the world to probably say that Nigeria is united. It's just that the IPOB, and then one of the coffin that was carried also point finger that IPOB killed, one of those individual, last couple of weeks in the southeast as well. So you can see that, with the Nigerian flag there, the drumming, and mix of different people. They were up to about more than 100 of them, as also more than close to 100, if not more, of those representing IPOB. So it was quite a lot of tension right outside the court as usual, just like it happened, some few weeks back when Nnamdi Kanu was brought to the court.
Okay, listen, this is all from Starr Radio. Okay, updates from Nigeria. Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you the updates from our North London studios in North London studios, and with me in the studio here in outside London, Mr. Frank Davis, and we are bringing you the updates from Nigeria. So let's go back to Yomi for some of the other stories making the round. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, gave the indication on Wednesday in an interview with journalists in Abuja on the pardon granted to Boko Haram insurgents, while leaders of other separate movements are facing prosecution. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, like you said, we'll go straight into some of those other updates coming from Nigeria this morning. Once again, a very good morning to those that have joined us from all our different platforms, joining us this morning. One thing is, when you talk about Nigeria, there's a lot happening, but let's go straight into it this morning. The first one is the AGF says political solution on Nnamdi Kanu and Chief Sunday IGBOHO not ruled out. What does that mean? The federal government may consider all kinds of solutions, including political ones, in order to resolve the crisis surrounding the separatist agitations in Nigeria. According to the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, gave the indication yesterday in an interview with journalists in Abuja on the pardon granted to Boko Haram insurgents while leaders of other separatist movements are facing persecution. The minister also spoke on other issues, including the current controversy between the federal government and the Nigerian Governors Forum over the Paris Club reform. The president is currently in France, as of yesterday, international arbitration involving Nigeria and the process industrial development company Sunrise. So it seems now that the journalists sought to know whether the federal government was not disposed to a political solution to the separatist agitation of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the Yoruba nationalist Chief Sunday Adeyemo, also known as IGBOHO. Malami said, although such consideration was not yet on the table, the government would not mind taking a shot at it. As far as the security situation is concerned, and as far as the governors say and this administration is concerned, you cannot rule out all possibility. But there has to be an approach for the government to consider. So does that mean that the federal government of Nigeria is looking at a different angle with the situation as we know currently in Nigeria? So I'm going to go straight into some of those.
That one, just a quick one. Let me ask Frank something. When you talk about political solution to this situation, what are you talking about? Are you talking about maybe a referendum for the people to decide yes they want to go, or let them just go their way?
Political solution normally will involve first gonna start with dialogue to be able to understand
why they are agitating,
and then bring different fractions together, and then come out with something that will help in administering the country. So normally political solutions will be an understanding that like this is the way we want to govern, this is how you want to govern, this is how you want to, this is how you fit in. It can take different shapes and form. But in Nigeria, I think what the case will be, and any political solution without the change of the constitution, I do not see how it's going to work. So I know that will be part, if there's going to be anything like that, that will be part of it, because what is happening is the way the country is structured.
The third date and what they call it, the other, the four administrations. We're talking of the security situation, who controls who and who is responsible. All those are political decisions. So decisions that politically get taken to address our lives. This is what we can look at when it comes to political sentiment or political solution to this. Okay, the whole lot needs to be looked at. That's the only solution for Nigeria. Whether there's going to be a separatism, or whether we're going to separate, whether we're going to change the constitution, everything gonna be discussed. Yeah. Okay. Listen, it's Starr already. Okay, we apologize. Yomi's line. Let me see. Yomi, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, let me drop it back and then come back in again.
Okay. Just bear with us, listeners. Just bear with us. Facebook page. I apologize. I think there was a break in the transmission there, but just bear with us. I think we should be able to have you back on. Let me see whether we can hear Yomi. Hello, Yomi.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. You can hear me, but I can still not see you. But let's go once I try to see whether I can work some magic out here. All right.
It could be from my end. So what I'll do is let's switch over quickly to something else, and then we'll continue with the program.
Okay. Well, listeners,
the screen is going to come up in just about 2 minutes.
Okay,
Okay, so let's go on then. Let's go on while we wait for the screen to come on, and then once it's on, I'll just connect it. Yes, what are some of the other stories making the round, sir?
Well, let's go straight to some of those other headline. Again, the most important thing is that the situation in Nigeria is getting heated on a daily basis, and so many Nigerians are asking the question, will they be resolved in time before 2023? Also, Nigerian debt has actually, stock it about 42 trillion. That's where the current debt of Nigeria is at the moment, 42.7 trillion, and the Senate has actually okayed another 16 billion, $16 billion loan. As we know. Also, the Senate consider bills, on the tough punishment for the corrupt officials and terrorism as well. So that is also coming from the headline this morning. Also, the Lagos police raid a training camp and also arrested about 108 naval impersonator. So let's go into that particular story to find out a little bit about it as well. So what we know is the Lagos State Police yesterday raided a particular location in Lagos State, according to the Lagos State Commissioner for Police, Akim Dosumu, and no fewer than 108 suspected alleged impersonating men and officers of the Nigerian Navy have been arrested by the Lagos State Command. The Lagos State Commissioner for Police, Akim Dosumu, said the suspects were arrested yesterday during a raid on their training camp in Ogudu, Sandfield area of the state, according to him yesterday. Also, let's go straight to the politics in Nigeria. Buhari, Ngige, Ozigbo, and others congratulate Soludo over the Anambra victory that have just completed last Saturday. So we now have a new governor in Anambra State as of Saturday, and that is the former Central Bank of Nigeria, Soludo, who actually won the Anambra election. The President Major Muhammad Buhari has congratulated Professor Charles Soludo, the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, who emerged for the winner of the governorship election in the Anambra State. Buhari's congratulatory message was contained in a statement by Special Media Advisor Publicity Femi Adesina, titled President Buhari congratulates Governor-elect Charles Soludo, urged support to confront challenges ahead. So let's take one more from the political terrain. It's exactly 27 minutes past, and then I'm going to be coming back again to you in the studio. I won't challenge your victory, Ifeanyi Uba assures Soludo. Ngige pledged support for Anambra governor-elect, and likewise, the other one is the NLC pledged support as well for Soludo, the new governor of Anambra State as well. Also, PDP group and yeah.
Hold on. We've been looking at this Anambra election. How did it go?
Well, I mean, the percentage might not be as what we know in the past in terms of 20% that we saw in about 4 years ago. But what we can say is, the turnout was out there. People came out to vote in the midst of all the chaotics. Remember, the IPOB wanted a complete total shutdown from Friday up to when Nnamdi Kanu will be returned back to the court yesterday. Yes, in Anambra State yesterday, and also in the southeast, there was a total paralysis as well, just like it happened on Monday. So in 2 days, the whole southeast has gone into paralysis. Yes, people came out to vote, and they decided to vote for a new governor who is also not from PDP or APC. They said, according to the contestant under the APC, that they will not be contesting that in the court of law, and now AFGAP have become the new governor of Anambra State.
Yeah, I mean, it's very significant because what we're looking at over here, there's a section of the population that was urging a sit down, basically a certain protest, boycott the election. Yeah. Okay, but here we are being told that people participated, but interestingly now, they've shown the traditional parties that have ruled and dominated them over the years. Is it a case that you're looking at a new person, something that not see the main political parties as a way forward, as a protest. Because if they could not see through, it's okay. If you do not participate, the fools will go and then they say, okay, for you. Okay, let's go and shun them and give them a bloody nose. The bloody nose. Is that what happened?
Well, you're quite right, because Africa, let's remember, has always been a political party that is much aligned to the southeast of Nigeria. But yes, there's still the ongoing issue, and even during the governorship debate, the issue of IPOB was asked to all the contestants, and I think one tend to pretend that nothing was happening, but Soludo says there is a problem, and that problem must be looked into, as against other that says we don't know what actually IPOB really wants.
Interesting. But the new governor is he somehow, leaning to the cause of the IPOB
That's what I say.
Yeah.
He has since over the years to have demonstrated a bit of standing with the people. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he might not have come out to say categorically I'm support or I'm in support of that. But I saw the president congratulating him and some others congratulating him. Is it that they think that you want to create a good rapport?
When you're enemy in one cage, you have to find a way of working together.
If
and
not,
you all survive in the cage.
one would die. Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. We apologize that we still don't have the image of Mr. Olayomi Koiki, but you can hear his voice. And let's go on to some of the other stories. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's go straight, to our social media handle this morning. But before we go into the social media, let's see if we can take one more from some of the news coming. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure where that is coming from, but let's see if we can take that out. Yes, sorry about that. Once again, it is still Starr Radio UK. You can also join us on Twitter, and also remember to subscribe on Starr Radio UK on our YouTube channel as well. And if you're sending money on to your loved ones, remember it says send waves. Remember to use the code Starr Radio UK, which is S for Star, R for Radio. World Bank demand debt transparency, says Nigeria and others need about 429 billion US dollars. We do know that we talked about our debt earlier during the program, but according to the story coming up, the World Bank has demanded debt transparency as a crucial step in country's development process, while it estimates that the external financing needs in Nigeria and other low-income developing countries will reach about $429 billion between 2023 and 2025. It added that transparency will facilitate new investment, improve accountability, and also help reduce corruption. This was stated in his report titled Transparency in Developing Economy. And like I said, while listening to Rollins in one of the interview that I was watching, like I said, at the early hours of this morning, you could see that we still have a lot of work to do, and let's just hear a bit of what he has to say there.
Let me just say something. I have a little theory that the world is manipulated. I may be wrong, but the world is manipulated by the multinational corporations, the media, some parts of the media, and the intelligence apparatus. They work as a triumvirate, and they are neatly sandwiched like the ham, like your tomato, whatever it is. They are neatly sandwiched in between the governed people, the governed ordinary people, and the governors. That is where the manipulation takes place. And there is a symbiotic relationship between the triumvirate and sometimes at this level. And if we do not make every possible attempt to return morality, when we're talking about the immorality of international politics, the immorality in business ethics, is also percolating downwards, and the criminal, corrupt thing that goes on in my world is bad. So the sooner we begin to return to restore some sense of morality in business ethics, in politics, in the media, intelligence apparatus, with beliefs, conviction that this is wrong, etc.
I'll just leave it there, and it just gives you exactly what the World Bank is saying. You know, let's get to see the transparency, because without the transparency, accountability, new investment will also not be helping. As we know, corruption is almost everywhere. The countries include Kenya, Honduras, Rwanda, Kosovo, the Gambia, Chad, Nepal, Nigeria, which we are discussing this morning. So I'm going to go straight to social media, come back again to you in the studio. It's exactly 11:35. You're still watching Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. You can also check us on our website, where you can find all the necessary news around the globe and some of the events and programs on www.starradiouk.com. So social media, yesterday, just as Nnamdi Kanu case was already ongoing, we can also talk about Ken Saro-Wiwa. Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed in 1995. That took the world by surprise, and also a lot of suspension on the then late dictator Sani Abacha. For their small kind, this is coming from Ajemoduba on YouTube, on Twitter. For their small kind, they wanted to repeat what they did to Ken Saro-Wiwa and Fela Kuti, bully, assault, sanction, Triumph 1.01 versus E-Activist 2.0. We have no gun or bullet, but we will rescue our hashtag Nigeria with something faster than bullet. Internet, hashtag Abuja, hashtag AIT under siege. So you could tell that, this person says, with the social media, I'm sure that is the only bullet that we have. Lai Mohammed says, Twitter hasn't still, confirmed to some of the 12, what the federal government wants. 10 out of that has been done. So we just have to wait and see how much more before the federal government will lift the ban on Twitter as well. So let's go straight into some of what is trending this morning on Nigeria before we start winding the program down at exactly 11:37 from this end. Another year, another plea for Nigerian government to exonerate my father, Ken Saro-Wiwa, and the rest of the hashtag Ogoni9, who were executed on false treason charges 26 years ago today, which was yesterday, for seeking human rights and environmental justice, help hashtag Nigeria healed and moved on. That is the daughter of Ken Saro-Wiwa. Also, according to Sonto Okonkwo2 General _Sonto on Twitter, Buhari autocratic government has no respect for the rule of law. The Nigerian government has no case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB. That is why the puppet, Justice Binta Inyako, keep using the delay tactics. We Biafrans won't give up until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is free unconditionally as well. Also, according to Disclassify UK, which is also talking about Nigerian issue, Harold Wilson was the Labour government secretly harmed and backed Nigeria aggression against the Biafra, the world worst humanitarian crisis of the late 1960s. That is something to read about as well, which I'm going to be reading as well. So we take one more, and that is Bruce Fame, one of the legal representatives that flew in from America on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I have not seen a country with so much open notorious in lawlessness like Nigeria. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you now in the studio.
Interesting. That's someone's assessment of Nigeria. But let's come to Ken Saro-Wiwa's case, and let me find out something. Now, the daughter speaking yesterday, 26th anniversary of the killing, or the whatever they will call it, of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni 9. Now, have there been any compensation from the federal government, knowing that the president at the time, or the head of state at the time, got things wrong or something of the sort? Has there been anything to appease them?
Well, I mean, the president wants to pardon them, but the question is, who do you pardon if they haven't committed any crime, if they haven't committed any offense? That is the question, and that is why, Omoyele Sowore and some of their group also were right in front of the National Assembly yesterday, demanding the exonerating of every charges against Ken Saro-Wiwa. You cannot pardon somebody that hasn't committed a crime in the first place. While he was asked if they've got any letter to present to the National Assembly, he says you can find that on Google. We don't need any letter because the history is already out there that can be read and printed out from the National Assembly.
Yeah, so actually sometimes you need to go with principle. You will recall that somewhere in 2007 or so, was it 2007? Yeah, 2007, I believe. Chatu Chikata, the former GMPC boss, was actually convicted. What today we can call a politically motivated wrong conviction. We all recall he was even pursued to his church for arrest and other things. In 2008, before we leave office in 2009, former President Kufuor pardoned Chikata, and Chikata rejected the pardon. He rejected it. That look, I do not want to be pardoned. I have not committed any crime. I am wrongly and politically convicted. Because you recall that look, he won the case. Akufo-Addo, then the Attorney General, hurriedly assembled a panel, added a new panel of judges to what the bench that sat on it. And that's how they found him guilty. Guilty. He was even not allowed to make presentation. The case that went to court was the president against Chikata, not even the state. So basically, when politically motivated charges are brought before you, and you know you are innocent, it is not easy to accept a pardon. And interestingly, Chatu went to the Supreme Court and overturned that conviction. So now you cannot call him a former convict because the Supreme Court has successfully overturned that conviction, and any legal thing that was brought has been found to be basically fictitious. Okay. So on this kind issue, I think the people are just not to accept pardon. They are just to ensure or to continue to push that he be declared innocent of all the charges and that he was wrongly killed by the state. Because I'm looking at it that you see his family and the people who supported that cause. I mean, the 9 people who were killed will never rest because they will always see government as their enemy. Right? They have to. I mean, because if successful government have come, one would have expected that the successful government will try and do something to want to be able to investigate what went wrong. Charges of treason were brought before against them. What were the evidence at that time before they were convicted? Yet we can't bring them back, but let the cause be set straight. If we know that an independent of someone not connected to it can prove to us today that look, these are the evidence. These are the evidence, and that's why it was convicted. I think the family accepted it. But when evidence is not there, or we do not know, or it's not being made public, and you still hold on to the case that an innocent man, people claim an innocent man, was actually attempting to overthrow the state. So it's a bit of difficult. And then people will look at what is happening to Namdeka because those are the same that are being brought against him. You look at Sunday, those are similar charges that are being brought. That you are attempting to overthrow the state. These are treasonable offenses, punishable by death. Are you getting it? But we want to see the evidence. Okay, listen, we want to see the evidence, Mr. Frank Davis, for you. I'm Archie. We have Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, before we go.
Well, I'd like to say thank you very much. Don't touch the dial because you still have.
I think Yomi's line is.
Yeah, don't touch the dial. Sorry, I have to mute the background. Don't touch the dial. Remember to stay tuned with Archie and Frank for the remaining segment of the program. I'll be back again same time tomorrow at exactly 11 o'clock, where we will continue with the update from Nigeria. From wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Thank you very much to those of you that have joined us on all other platforms as well. We'd like to say thank you. And from me now, it's a very good morning. Bye for now.
Bye. Okay, the voice that you were hearing in the background is the able producer, Mr. He is now, I call him Professor Koiki himself, seeing in that the program goes very, very perfectly there. Okay.
Very, very perfectly there. Okay, so let me say good morning to the Koiki family in North London. All right, then. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We'll take a quick break. We come back and we'll look at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.